Hello and welcome to Business Daily here on Trust Television, reaching you from Abuja, Nigeria's capital. I am Chiamaka Nwafo. Let's start you off with top stories in the business world. Welcome back. Thanks for staying with us here on Business Daily on Trust Television. Now let's go look at our stock report. Now, at close of trading yesterday on the floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange, it was actually a downward trend. Again, a downward trend. The day closed, declined further as the all-share index lost 0.31% to close at 66,448.63 from 66,652.17 points. It's like 3 days it's been going on the downward trend. The bears are making it happen. Now, market capitalization equally declined by 0.30% to close at 36.368 trillion naira from 36.479 billion naira, shedding 111 billion naira. Now, our volume of trades was 273.8 million units of shares that were traded in 6,826 deals valued at 3.4 billion naira. Now, what does this mean when we compare it to trading on Tuesday? Now, remember, due to the public holiday on Wednesday, the Nigerian Stock Exchange, there were no trades being opened. There was nothing happening. So we're going to compare to Tuesday, that is the 26th of September. And with that, what do we see? We see that yesterday, that is 28th data, shows that there's been a 25% decline in volume, a 25% decline in turnover, and a 3% decline in deals. It's all been, downward. There's no positivity happening here for the stock exchange report as of yesterday. Now, let's see. We had on our gainers and losers table, we had 16 equities gaining and 26 equities losing, meaning that the market breadth closed on the negative. Now, on our gainers table, we have RT Briscoe closing at 0 naira 45 kobo, increasing by 9.76%. Then we have Computer Warehouse Group in second place at 7 naira 90 kobo, closing at 9.72%. And we have Better Glass Company at 56 naira 20 kobo, closing at 9.55%. Now let's go over to our red table and see what's happening. Now we have Vitafoam Nigeria closing the day at 22.25, losing about 9.92%, and FTN Cocoa Processors closing at 1.5 naira, that is 9.88 1% decline, and Uando PLC at 8 naira 70 kobo, closing at 9.84% decline. How does this, reflect? Let's go see our top traders for yesterday. Now, our top traders, market movers, we had Access Holdings PLC with 710 million shares. Now, this was traded, it actually had 710 million naira, but 45.9 million shares that were traded in 631 deals. Following next is Transcorp. Now, Transcorp had 291 million naira in shares, and then UBA United Bank for Africa had 17 million shares traded in 412 deals at 787 million naira. Now let's look at our sectors. Do these have any effect on our sectors? We can see that although Access Core had a lot of trading, which equally means that people were just doing profit taking actually. The NGX Banking closed at minus 0.01%. NGX Industrial, the same thing, minus 0.00%. NGX Consumer Goods, minus 0.68%. NGX Oil and Gas at just there, flat, just moving at 0.00%. And NGX Insurance went up at plus 0.83%. So the only place sector that similarly did well as of close of business on Thursday, 28 September 2023 is NGX Insurance and NGX Oil and Gas. Now let's go look at what's happening on the African continent. Now Johannesburg Stock Exchange has come back again. Now on Wednesday it closed red. It was a red outlook for them, but they seem to come back again, increasing at 0.46% to close the day at 72,505.99 basis points. Ghana seems to remain its upward trend too, closing at 3,166.42 basis points, increasing by 0.01%. That's the same thing he had going on for it even as the close of business on Wednesday. However, the Nairobi Stock Exchange, it seems it's going back again to its downward trend, closing at 95.30 basis points, losing about 0.5%. That's the much we have for you on Stock Update at the moment. When we return, we're going to look at Nigeria's independence. What's up with our economy? Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Hello and welcome back to Business Daily right here on Trust Elevation from Abuja, Nigeria's capital. Now, before we went on a break, I think we're going to talk about Nigeria's independence so far, especially as regards to our economy. With me in the studio to further look into this conversation is Professor Uche Nwaleke. He is a professor of capital economy at Nasarawa State University, and of course, he's an economist. Thank you so much. Good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much, Yamaka. Professor of Capital Markets.
Professor of Capital Markets. Thank you. Now, before we get into our conversation, just can you give us an overview? You were here when we read the stock market reports. Can you just, gloss through that briefly?
Okay. You did a very good presentation. Yes, just as you showed there. The market has been tanking, and this started, if you check, since 20th. The market has been on the downward trend since 20th. So what has literally been taking place is, as you described, profit taking, and generally weak market sentiment. And how do we measure weak market sentiment? By looking at the market breadth. Okay, just as you said, on the average, the number of losers has always been higher than number of gainers. So that tells you that market breadth is, the market sentiment, is weak. Okay, and then why is it weak? It is weak on the back of the uncertainties, we also have around the economy. Issues to do with rising inflation. Rising inflation doesn't help market sentiment. Exchange rate issues. Okay, these challenges we're having. The forex market again, is also what is, if you like, putting investors on the fence. And those who are already there, they want to sell. Exactly. So that's what has been happening. So you now notice that since the year began, what we call year-to-date return has actually dropped to about 30% now. Okay. Okay, and the index itself, that at some point even exceeded 68,000, now has dropped to 66.3. Yes. So it's down, but I don't expect that it will linger for too long. Okay, I'm sure as soon as we begin to see some positive signs in the economy, particularly with regard to the exchange rate, now that we have a new CBN governor is in place, the market will rebound. Okay,
all right. Thank God you brought out all this information. So let's take a look at a graphic showing us our current state economically right now in Nigeria. We can see that inflation is at 25.08%. That's from the latest report from the National Bureau of Statistics.
For August.
For August, yes. We see our real GDP is at 17.72 trillion naira. Our poverty rate is 133 million. Which that, for a country that is 200 million, that number is really frightening. It's really frightening.
Yes. The misery index.
Yes, the misery index is 73.05%.
Yes. The misery index is, a basket. You have inflation, you have unemployment, and you have standard of living generally. So when you combine all of that, what you get is, misery index. So it's quite high. That means unemployment, high inflation, all these things are high. Poverty rate, is high.
And of course, our crude oil, I know we're already producing below our quota.
OPEC quota is 1.74 million barrels per day.
Well, I think we're doing 1.2.
1.2. You can see the deficit.
And then, of course, our forex naira to dollar. This is just the supposed CBN
That's the official exchange
but it's funny if we're saying official, being that the CBN has floated the dollar. Why do we still use the term official? It's not supposed to be the same amount across board.
No. What you call the parallel market, CBN doesn't recognize it. Okay. That's why some also call it the black market. Okay. So as far as the CBN is concerned, the rate at which the transactions are taking place is the official, which is now I and E-window. That's what it's called previously, but now it's called the Nigerian Foreign Exchange Market. So that is what is there. But the reality is that a lot of people still patronize the black market, where the rate now is. We hear over 1,000.
Going back to that graphics, we can equally see that that's the one that really went out of way. That's the airfares. We were doing 20,000 one time. Even as of 2 years ago, I could do Lagos to Abuja at 50-something thousand. Yes. Currently, it's going to cost me at least 150K to make that trip.
Yes, you shouldn't be surprised because of the exchange rate. Okay, the cost of maintaining a plane, okay, aircraft parts that are not paid for in naira. Okay, these things are imported. So the higher the exchange rate, the more you also expect that these things will impact on, the airfares. And there is also the issue of even fuel. Okay, the cost of fuel. Okay, once the aircraft, aviation fuel has also gone up.
Fuel, yes.
Jet fuel has also gone up. So when you put all these things together, you can't but expect that airfares will go up.
Of course, that affects equally when we look at our transportation normally because of the rise of fuel.
Exactly.
I am paying double
and
now.
Look at gas.
Of course, gas.
Kerosene.
That's one too.
And yes, kerosene. And these are sectors that have been so-called deregulated.
Deregulated.
Yeah. So market forces are actually driving.
And we're hearing whispers that it's possible that the fuel might still go up again.
Yes.
And gas itself too.
Yes, because the people importing fuel. Okay, apart from NNPC, petroleum marketers are saying that they don't have access to the forex market, that they have difficulty accessing forex. It's only the NNPC,
But why is that so?
It is so because of the liquidity challenge in the forex market. Liquidity challenge means the supply is not there. The forex is not just there. So government is trying to see what they can do to ensure that there is supply. When we unified the exchange rates, and we said, okay, let's allow market forces to be at play, there was a real supply issue, but the demand couldn't abate. All right. So when you have that kind of situation, you should expect exchange rate to go up. So if exchange rate is still at 790, okay, that means the government is still trying to ensure it doesn't go overboard, because look at the price in the parallel market. Some will even tell you that what you have in the parallel market is a reflection of what the demand is, even though I don't agree, because in the parallel market a lot of speculation is going on.
Currently, I think 1,005 naira as of this morning.
Yes, people are going to buy forex, mopping up these things just to hoard and to keep a store of value, because they are losing faith in the naira. And why are they losing faith in the naira? Again, because of rising inflation. Okay, once your domestic currency is losing value, so you tend to substitute.
So I had a guest sometime earlier this week who mentioned that when our naira, I'm going to take us back all the way to the 1960s, 70s, 80s, when our naira had so much value. There's this picture that's been going out on social media where it showed that at some point in time, Nigeria's naira was 1 naira to the dollar.
My sister.
And then 1 pound to 1 naira.
Absolutely.
It was that. But
it wasn't even as far back as 1960. 1960 was independence.
Yes, 1980s.
Yes, as recent as 1982, 83. Okay, there was virtually parity between the naira and the dollar.
So how did we get here? Because my guest was saying that Bretton Woods told us our money was overvalued. And I have for me, it's why would we listen to some other person telling us that our currency is overvalued? And how did we get to this place?
Yes, I think he was right to a large extent. Okay, because in 1986, when under the then president, military president, Ibrahim Babangida.
Yes.
I recall in August, it was in August that in one day, in one fell swoop, the exchange rate dropped from 4 naira to the dollar. Then it was 4 naira to the dollar in 1986, August, I recall, to 10 naira to the dollar. So what happened then was the then government said they were pursuing a structural adjustment program, okay, where the World Bank advised that if we devalued our currency, okay, it would promote exports. Of course, when you devalue your currency, what happens is that your exports become cheaper. So it will promote exports, so you could export more and earn more forex. So that was on the advice of the World Bank, okay, under the structural adjustment program. Okay, so the naira was devalued from 4 naira to 10 naira. But unfortunately, that was that action was, I would say, ill-timed. Ill-timed because at that time we didn't have the required export base. We were not actually producing for exports.
Yes.
We were still relying on oil, just as we're relying on oil today. So when you don't have what to export, and you implement a policy that is meant to encourage exports, and you don't have exports to exchange with the rest of the world, the policy fails. So the naira has continued to be on this free fall. And to make matters worse, if you also check our consumption pattern between that time, even as recent as the 90s. Okay, if you look at, let us take even the case of what they call invisibles. Invisibles now refer to education and health. Between 2010 and 2020, according to data, even from the Central Bank and from UNESCO Institute of Statistics, we have spent close to 40 billion naira, $40 billion rather, okay, on foreign education and health. The number
so that's the
people going abroad to yes, the number of students, Nigerian students in the overseas abroad in the 90s, the number was fewer than maybe 10,000.
You were saying earlier that we're not exporting anything, but apparently since we're exporting people, we're exporting our population over there, but we're not exporting and expecting something to come back that will get us forex.
Yes.
Because that's what it looks like to me. We're exporting people. The number hasn't reduced. People are still going out. I have friends who are still planning on using the word Japa.
Yes. Yes. But this Japa syndrome became pronounced in the last few years.
Yes.
There wasn't Japa in the 80s. Okay, and in the early 90s.
Even those that left came back to come and do.
Oh, yes, they came back. And the thing is becoming more worrisome. A lot of people are leaving, okay?
Selling properties, all sorts of.
Yes, but of course, even if there's going to be any positive aspect of the Japa syndrome, we are not going to see it now. It's not now. It will probably in future, if those people succeed in getting jobs, okay, and then they stabilize, much, much later, and then begin to remit money into Nigeria, diaspora remittances. So, but at the moment, you can't feel the impact of, the syndrome. All right. So the point, I was making is that part of our challenges since 1960 has been the fact that we have, unfortunately, not been able to diversify our export base. Now, some people tell you our economy is diversified, and when they say economy is diversified, they mean that now, unlike before, at least now we can talk about the services sector, talk about the, it's no longer the agri sector. Before it was the agri sector. But today you have the services, the agri, so they say economy is diversified and talk about Nollywood and the rest. But that is not what we mean by diversified. When we say diversification, that will improve forex, improve the economy, it is export base. You're having multiple sources of forex. Not only crude oil. Today, 60 years since independence, over 90% of what we earn as forex is still coming from crude. It's quite unfortunate.
Okay, Professor, time. I can see that you have so much to say about this.
You have to bring me back again. You have to bring me back.
Time will not permit us to really delve into it. Thank you so much, Professor Uche Walaka.
Thank you, Chairman.
Waleke, thank you so much for joining us on Business Daily this morning. That's the much we have for you on Business Daily. I know independence is coming, and some of us might want to be wary, but let's hold in there. Let's hold in there and believe that Nigeria will get better and is getting better. My name is Chiamaka Mwafo. Thank you for joining us today. See you on Monday with more. Stay safe, spend wisely, and don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms and on our YouTube live stream.